choosing heaven. What are you choosing? Heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven. Choosing heaven. I'm choosing heaven. Choosing heaven. I'm choosing heaven. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, choosing heaven. What are you choosing?
My name is Dr. Lisa Gordon. I am a volunteer here at Columbia Center for Spiritual Living. It's not on. I'll see you again in a second.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Lisa Gordon, and I think I'm too close to the mic. I'm a volunteer here at Columbia Center for Spiritual Living. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. Welcome to our Sunday celebration. For those of you on Facebook, we would greatly appreciate it if you would share this live stream to bring more of us together in the energy of spirit. I'll pause for you to do that now. Thank you very much. Our vision is to contribute to a world that works for everyone. We are a diverse community of belonging and growth. We share the light and joy within ourselves while learning to see it in others. We strive to illuminate the spiritual truth that we all belong to each other, and that calls for us to celebrate and to embrace our unique identities, including ability status, age, ethnicity, gender identity, national origin, physical characteristics, race, religion, and sexual orientation. We have a saying here, singing is like praying twice. So we begin each service with a song. I invite you to stand as we sing together, Treat and Move My Feet by Annie Sims. You'll find the lyrics on the screen.
If I want to have more love in my life, it's time to open my heart up and let it shine. Whatever it is I truly desire, is fine if I can be inspired. I gotta treat and move my feet. I gotta treat and move my feet. Nobody else gonna rescue me. I gotta treat and move my feet. If I wanna have more joy in my life, oh yeah, I'm gonna keep on smiling till I feel alright. The key to success is in my hands. As soon as I understand, I've got to treat and move my feet. I've got to treat and move my feet. Nobody else gonna rescue me. I've got to treat and move my feet. If I wanna have more peace in my life, I need to take time to listen to the voice inside. If I know who I am and my aim is true, the only thing I got to do, I gotta treat and move my feet. I gotta treat and move my feet. Nobody God's gonna rescue me. I got a treat and move my feet. I'm so glad that it's up to me. I've got a treat and move my feet. I've got a treat and move my feet. I've got a treat and move my feet.
It's so wonderful to start the day in joyful noise together. I invite you to now set an intention for this week. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to sink into the feeling of that intention right now as you open to receive Spirit's guidance throughout our time together and beyond. Now it's my pleasure to introduce today's amazingly talented guest musicians, Andrea Brackfeld, accompanied by Zach Worthy. Andrea is a critically acclaimed, award-winning flutist. She's trying to be modest over there. Composer and teacher. And Zach Worthy plays the keyboard with grace and style. Please help me welcome Andrea and Zach.
Thank you. All right. So the first composition we're going to play is by Thelonious Monk, and it's called Misterioso. And the reason I chose this was because, misterioso means mysterious, and the theme is curiosity. I have to speak to my music stand for a second. Everything has its soul, We're going to play the composition, and then I have some words that I made up, and then we're going to improvise and have some fun. Hopefully. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Why does the sun come up every morning? Why does the moon shine at night? Why do I see the stars at night? Why does it snow? Why does it rain? Why are there wars? Why do people fight with each other? Why can't people get along? Why can't certain people walk? Can certain people walk and others can't? Why don't all people look alike? What will happen tomorrow? Who is God? Is he a man? Is she a woman? Why is a whale not a dog? Why is a cat not a tree? The answers, my friends, lie in the mystery of life. Have faith. Have trust. Know that you are the way. You are the answer. You are the mystery. Remain open. Remain curious. Remain in the mystery. Feel the everlasting flow of life. Feel the eternal divine love. Accept it all. Be. Breathe. Know. Remain curious. Remain mysterious. Remain curious. Remain mysterious. All right, Zach, take it away.
Thank you, Andrea and Zach, for sharing your amazing gifts. Yes, that was fun. If this is your first time experiencing Columbia Center for Spiritual Living, we welcome you and thank you for joining us today. We want you to know that no matter who you are or whatever your spiritual path, you are welcome here. There is a variety of ways to connect and engage in community. We invite you to continue watching the slides at the end of service for announcements on events, classes, etc. Links with more details can be found on our website calendar at columbiacsl.com/events, or feel free to email us at info@columbiacsl.com for more information. So now let us consciously engage in spiritual practice together. We invite you to settle in, center yourself in this moment, and find that sacred place within where spirit is all there is. We will have a contemplative reading by Jody Davidson, then a guided meditation and affirmative prayer by Zita Johnson Betts.
Today's reading is from the Science of Mind, February 2023 Daily Guide by Rev. Raymond Anderson. Open at the top and bottom. We begin with a quote from Ernest Holmes in Discover of Richer Life, page 20.3. Science of Mind will never be a closed book, but will continue to gather spiritual truth from every source and every person's experience. Like a tree whose branches reach upward to the light of the sun and whose roots grow deep into the dark soil, we are called to be open, anchored, aligned, and rooted in a practice of the divine presence. Curiosity ensures that we are exactly that. Curiosity calls us to ask us how we apply this teaching to the various ills in the world today. Take, for example, the monumental task of launching astronaut John Glenn into orbit. Because of the talent and genius of Katherine Johnson, Dorothy Vaughan, and Mary Jackson, applying their knowledge and their skills to the task at hand, the launch succeeded. They did not simply theorize, rather they materialized applicable scientific truths to the task NASA gave them. Are we applying the science of mind with such commitment, consistency, and conviction? Have we allowed the comforts and complacency of being the best kept secret to prevent us from showing up as we could? If we are saying we are open at the top, do the fruits we bear say otherwise? What are we individually and collectively called to do differently? The world is like a hospital, a place of vast conditions, ills, and diseases. What is our spiritual imperative as metaphysicians when we enter into this hospital? Metaphysician, heal thyself, is not meant to stop with us. Rather, it's to begin with us. And then, as Yeshua said to them, go to all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. We too must teach and demonstrate principle in all creation. Are you ready? Please join me in today's affirmation. I exemplify being open at the top and the bottom. I am anchored and aligned with principle and the presence. And so it is.
Good morning, Columbia CSL. For those here present with us, and for those watching the live stream, take a moment. Stop the busyness of the day. Sit still for just a little while. And in that stillness, breathing in and breathing out, breathing in and breathing out, feel the rhythm of your life. Feel the deep connection that you have with everything, everywhere. Feel the flame that burns within you as an undying reference and remembrance of your affinity, your lineage with the Creator. You are a divine creation. You are part of the great creation of God. What a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing to remember. Often we are so busy with the activities of daily life that do require our attention. But if we can remember to build in just a little time each day to remind ourselves, to center ourselves, to feel the connection, because you're always connected. You can never be unconnected. You are always connected. It is your experience that sometimes feels disjointed. But take those moments, build them into your day. You will receive so much more than just the few minutes it takes to reconnect with your inner self, to reaffirm your spiritual identity, and to nourish yourself. So much there to be thankful for. And we are reminded today of the value of being curious about our nature. As children, we were always curious. We wondered about things. We delighted in the wonder of things. Sometimes as we grew older, we became more practical, less curious. It is truly the scientific mind that appreciates the joy of questioning, of thinking about things, turning them over and over, looking at the top and the bottom and the inside and the outside, and feeling joy, not afraid of uncertainty, not afraid of the questions that you ask, because you know in your heart that there is one truth. You are part of God. You can never be disconnected from God. You are never alone. You have God's permission to be curious. Please join me in this affirmative prayer. What I know is that God is all there is. God is everything that ever was, ever will be, ever could be. And I am a part of God as you are a part of God. You are a unique expression of the Creator. And the Creator loves you. And you, as an expression of love, can fill the world with so much love, so much joy, so much appreciation for truth and kindness and tolerance and patience and the willingness to be with others as they question, as they seek answers to their questions, knowing always that questions and questioning only improve us, only reaffirm our connections. We know that in the science of mind, curiosity is nourished. It is a gift. Remember your childhood. Remember the joy of asking questions. Go into that quiet place and ask your questions, seek answers, read, pray, meditate, sing, do whatever brings you joy. And know that God is with you. You are never alone. You will always receive the answers that you need when you seek, when you set your intention. The laws of the universe have no choice but to obey your will as a divine creation of God. Be clear on your intention. Seek and you shall find. Be joyful, patient, caring, forgiving, and know that all is in divine order. Be willing to embrace the bigness of our faith that is not limited to just this community, but seeks to affirm the goodness of God and the love in all communities, because we are all connected. There is no story, there is no pain, there is no joy, no hurt that is not part of our experience. And we are called to be the joyful warriors, bringing love and peace and comfort to all. Feel the joy, feel the light, feel the oneness, and know that the law has already made it so. And be grateful. We are so grateful for the blessing of this day and this opportunity to come together. And in love and joy and truth and beauty and peace, we say, and so it is.
Thank you, Jody and Zita, for that beautiful time of spiritual practice. If you would love to have more of that sacred spiritual connection, our practitioners and ministers are eager to support you in living from this place. Feel free to email your request for prayer or counseling to prayer@columbiacsl.com, and we will hold your truth in prayer throughout the week. And now I'm delighted to introduce once again Andrea and Zach to give us more music for our soul.
So I do these oracle readings, and one of the decks that I use is called Divine Feminine, and it's by Megan Waterson. And I came across Amaterasu, who is called the Goddess of Light. We are all sacred mirrors, reflecting back the same light. Amaterasu embodies the levity that brings us out of the darkness and shows us the beauty of our own light. Amaterasu is the most profound deity in the Shinto religion. She's the solar goddess of Japanese mythology. Her name means shining in heaven. The oldest legends of Amaterasu take us back to the 8th century and come from the Koyoki, or the Japanese record of ancient matters. In Shinto, kami are spirits or deities, and the most well-known story of the kami in Shinto is when Amaterasu got into a fight with her brother, Susanoo, god of the storms and of the sea. His violence made Amaterasu so upset and angry, she retreated into a cave, leaving the world in darkness. The kami of merriment placed a mirror outside of her cave and laughed so much, Amaterasu became curious. She peeked outside the cave and saw a beautiful goddess, a stunning version of the dawn. She was in awe of it, not realizing it was her own reflection. Excuse me. Surrounded by laughter, Amaterasu's anger and depression lifted, and she agreed to leave the cave, bringing her light with her back into the world. Amaterasu, show us your light. Stay not in darkness. Be not afraid. Be not angry. Show us all how to shine in heaven. Show us how to transmute our darkness into light. Give us the courage to face our own shadows, our own demons, our imperfections. Show us how to act and not react. Show us how to be curious. Curious enough to overcome the darkness, the difficulties of life, the challenges of everyday living, the challenges of things not going our way, like my throat that's not behaving. Show us how to see ourselves as light, as beauty, as laughter, as joy. Give us the courage to see ourselves as the divine sees us, past the body, through the eyes of spirit, deep inside our souls, to the eternal, non-changing energy of stillness, of fullness, of wholeness, of light, of perpetual curiosity, to grow, to change, for courage to be honest. Amaterasu, thank you for being curious enough to be drawn out of your cave into the light and into the beauty of yourself. May we all have the courage and curiosity to come out of the darkness and into the light.
Thank you, Andrea and Zach. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce today's speaker. Ginny Robertson was introduced to Science of Mind in 1991, and it has been her go-to teaching since then. For 23 years, she has connected women around the world to their gifts, their purpose, and each other through her On Purpose Women Global community, her On Purpose Women magazine, her YouTube channel, workshops, and keynote talks. I've known Ginny for much of that time, and I just love having her as part of my world. She's a truly inspirational and loving person. Please help me welcome one of Maryland's top 100 women, according to the Daily Record newspaper, Ginny Robertson.
Mother, you're going to raise one ignorant child if you don't start giving me better answers than that. Anybody have that experience growing up? Maybe you didn't address it quite like I did as a child. It was 1958, and my mother had answered my latest "but why" question with what had become her go-to answer: because I said so. I'm 7 years old, and I'm frustrated by not getting what I thought were good, honest answers. I don't really remember that specific conversation, but my mother told that story till she died. Ooh. Is this off? Yeah. And I don't remember having that conversation. I'm actually surprised that she didn't whack me and knock me across the room because, that was considered very impudent back in the day. But she told that story, and I never knew whether she told it because she was proud of her precocious little 7-year-old that I had the courage to do that, or that she was lamenting her lot in life for having this child that she didn't. She told other people, I don't know what to do with her. And I wasn't a bad child. I was just very, guess what? Curious. So my talk today is about the courage to be curious, because as our lovely, where did she go? The woman who was up here a little while, right there. That was so beautiful. Thank you. She mentioned as children, we just came in curious, didn't we? But as adults, something happened. Something happened between that span of childhood and adulthood. It was either shamed out of us, kicked out of us, taught out of us. All kinds of things happened. Not to everyone. It depends on, I guess, where you were and how things were going. And so something else happened around that same time. We attended a Methodist church, and I was pretty curious about this picture that had been hanging on the wall for quite some time. It was a big picture of dark clouds, and out of the shadows of the cloud was this hand, this arm and a hand, and a finger pointing, and off the finger was this lightning bolt. And I always wondered what that was. And so one day I finally raised my hand and I asked, "What's that?" And the Sunday school teacher said, "It's God." And I said, from this very kind of naive place of wonder and curiosity, "God looks mad." The teacher said, "God gets mad." And my mind is scrambling to make sense of that. And I reply, "But you said God loves us." And she says, "God does love you unless you displease him." And I said, "But you said God loves us all the time, no matter what." And she said, as she got louder and more insistent, "Stop talking about things that you know nothing about." And I did. I clammed up. At the end of the Sunday school class, she walks me out to my parents and she tells them that I am disruptive and that if I keep it up, I will not be allowed in Sunday school. Now, my parents are mortified because my mother especially lived from that place of how outside people view us is really important. And if anybody else had that experience, it's very important how we look to the rest of the world. And she was considering in that moment, I'm sure, how she was going to be judged for having a disruptive daughter, whatever that meant. So from an early age, I learned that my natural curiosity, my natural just desire to know so many things was really kind of a dangerous place to be. I had to squash it. It was already being squashed a bit, but I started to learn, okay, I think if I'm going to be safe here, if I'm going to play the game, I'm going to have to stop doing this because people don't like this. I remember feeling discouraged that my questions weren't met with serious answers, that I got those answers like because I said so, or because I'm the mother, or you're too young to know that, stop asking. It went on and on and on. And so I started to believe there must be something wrong with asking questions because otherwise, why would so many people get upset by it? What I learned as I grew older and got a little bit wiser is that when people sometimes don't have answers, especially parents, because they think they're supposed to have answers to everything, they make up stuff. They make up stuff, or they say, because I said so, because that's the only thing they have right now, right? They have to have the authority there, but because I said so, that's supposed to be the stop. Okay, we're not going to have this conversation any longer because I said so. Unfortunately, up until that point, I would never let it go at that. I would always ask one more question. But my mom, you said, but I don't understand why. That's not fair, And I'm in seventh. You can imagine what my mother was thinking about what I was going to be like at 15. But good for her. I wasn't that person at 15 because I learned to play the game. My 7th year is also full of other changes and discoveries as well. Up to that point, I'd been quite full of myself, a natural show-off, if you will. I was branded that by my mother. All I needed is one person in the room, and I would start dancing, singing. I had a little toy ukulele. I would do imitations. I pretended to be Elvis Presley because I had seen him on TV. And I just, anything to get attention. And I must have been kind of good at it because my mother would sometimes say, Ginny, show so-and-so that thing that you did. But now it's changing. And my mother is no longer thinking it's cute. And she's scolding me. Why do you always have to be the center of attention? Settle down. You're not the center of the universe here. I can't believe she used the word universe back then. And then she started saying things like, children are to be seen and not heard. Settle down. Stop bragging. I hear that message again, and I realize if I keep doing this, being this person, I'm going to get in trouble. Not only do I realize I have to stop being a big chunk of me, but I have to, because I'm going to get in trouble, I actually started to believe that if I don't tamp this down and change, my mother's going to stop loving me. I tied all that together. I made unconscious decisions at that time that put a lid on my curiosity, my creativity, and my joy. Can anyone relate to this? Okay. I became what I call a conscious, quiet observer of life and wondered more in my head than I did out loud. A part of me knows it's a role I'm playing. Even at a young age, I had this idea that I'm just playing a role here. And there will come a time in my life when I don't have to play that role any longer. But as I became an adult, the baggage got heavier, not lighter. And I became more fearful of being wrong or looking stupid. I would weigh my answers carefully. I would weigh my questions carefully. Sometimes I'd pretend to know the answers when I didn't. Rather than ask a stupid question, I'd try to figure out the solution. And that was before Google. Imagine now, every time I say, I wonder, I get out my phone and it's like, oh, there it is. So I'm not courageous at that time enough to express my curiosity because I've been conditioned to believe there are prices to pay when I do. Brene Brown says, curiosity is an act of vulnerability and courage. We need to be brave enough to want to know more. As adults, the missing link to this lack of curiosity may well be courage. Whatever fears you have, conscious or unconscious, can stifle your desire to seek answers. We get into that safe comfort zone, that safe space that says, I don't really need to know that. But there's maybe something back there that says, but I really do want to know that. But that old conditioning can get in the way. To reap the benefits of curiosity, you must have the courage to ask what some may see as stupid questions, to question the status quo, to release the fear of being judged. Curious people always ask questions and search for answers. Their minds are always active. And since the mind is like a muscle that becomes stronger as you use it, the more curious we are, the greater our mind gets. We exercise that muscle. So there's a real upswing to being curious. But according to some new research I found this week, there's also a downside to curiosity. They found that curiosity is sometimes so powerful that it leads people to opt for situations without apparent benefit and might have negative consequences, kind of like the story of Pandora's box. I've just got to know. You're all telling me not to do that, but I've just got to know for myself. And there could be ramifications for that. For me, a downside of now being, and having been this person for probably the last 40 years, this what I call hyper curious, to where it's almost a condition I need meds for. There's a downside to that with me as well, because I'm always wondering. In fact, I wonder how many times in the day I say out loud or to myself, I wonder. And it took my husband, Don, a while to actually start to get that. When I say that out loud, I'm not asking for an answer. I'm musing, but I have to say it out loud. And then if I wonder enough, I will go to my phone. Sometimes I kind of try not to, or I lament the fact that we don't have to work harder for answers. Remember, did you ever wake up in the middle of the night because you couldn't think of a song? And then middle of the night, you're waking up and it comes to you and, oh, I got to call my friend because we were trying to think of that song, when I would have known it 3 seconds later on my phone, right? And so for me, it's just a downside to me. And it's something that I must do, though, because I'm always presented with open-ended information and I want to know more. Anybody in here in that club? Okay. It can be burdensome. Would you agree? Okay. And annoying to other people, too. Who's familiar with the term FOMO? FOMO is fear of missing out. It's a thing that's, I guess it's been 10 years or so that it's been out there in urban slang. And it has much to do with social situations, maintaining connections, and feeling like you must go everywhere and do everything that you have the options to go and do. My super curiosity breeds FOMO, I've discovered. I fear missing out on knowing something that would be to know, or wanting to learn more. It's not about diving deep into a topic and becoming an expert. I don't want to do that at this stage of my life. It's not about knowing so much so I can tell you what I know. It's not so I can just show off. It's simply that I'm curious about it and interested in so many diverse things that it's just in the course of a day, there's so many things that say to me, I want to know more about that. I recently spent time clearing out email folders that held stuff I was going to read someday because the topic was interesting. I've had some of them for years, and not only had I not read them, I hadn't even opened them. They still had the bold thing that I had just moved them over to a folder. And it felt kind of freeing to delete those because every time I saw them, it was kind of like, oh, I still got to read that. I haven't read that yet. And that could also be a curse in a way. So I started to understand that while it takes courage to be curious, it also takes courage to manage my curiosity in a healthy way so it doesn't manage me. Because I don't want to leave you all with this idea that curiosity is anything but great. I mean, I'm blessed because if thinking and wondering has anything to do with brain health, then man, I'm going to be kicking it well after my body might give out, right? And so creating this talk was challenging because I became very curious about curiosity. I looked for inspiration. I already had a lot of material from my life, as you can imagine. I've given you some of that already. I also did some new research and ended up with enough info to teach a full day class. So if anybody's looking for that, call on me. That I then had to whittle down to 25 minutes. But I love the process of creating that too. Anybody else love the creation of your talk as much as you love giving it? Yeah. It's just that whittling down that I was doing at 4 o'clock this morning, maybe? That, I'm looking at the clock, okay, if I don't shower, I could get there on time. So to me, that's the upside and a little bit of downside of being super curious, is that there is this desire to know more. There's this desire to bring more information to people when they ask for it. And I can get so into what it is that then I have to decide, okay, I've got 25 minutes. How am I doing for time? Oh, I forgot to turn my thing on. Okay, you'll give me the 5-minute, Reggie? Okay, thank you. So Albert Einstein said, one cannot help but be in awe when he contemplates the mysteries of eternity, of life, and of the marvelous structure of reality. It is enough if one tries merely to comprehend a little of this mystery every day. Never lose a holy curiosity. And I'd never heard holy and curiosity used in the same sentence before. And so the idea of a holy curiosity enticed me to think about how curiosity is a spiritual practice. Anybody think that's possible? Yes. The Centers for Spiritual Living aspire to a world that works for everyone. Imagine if you commit as part of your spiritual practice to meet every single person, every single event, and every single feeling that shows up in your life with a deep and abiding curiosity. To live at a state of patient and observant noticing rather than habitual reactivity. Curiosity means instead of snapping at someone because you're angry, you sit with the feeling and energy of anger in your body and you notice it. You notice your thoughts. Notice the desire to run and hide from your uncomfortable feelings. Just witness it and be curious about, what's this about? Witness without judgment and see what you can learn about yourself. Be gently curious and inquire within. You can ask yourself, what's happening here? What am I supposed to learn right now? How am I being triggered and what old thing is coming up? What if I wait? What will happen then? What is my most profound wisdom telling me? What is the most loving response I can have now? And what response will free me? That's very different than somebody doing that thing that reminds us of something. We're not even knowing what it reminds us of. We're just going into automatic reaction and we strike back. If we can go within and go to that curious place about, because, it really is always about me, isn't it? It's always about the people in your seat right now. It's never about that other person. I mean, they've got their own stuff. It's about them when it's about them, right? And so the way to change reactive habits is to intervene somewhere between the stimulus, which is what just triggered me, and the reaction. And curiosity can be that intervention. We can stop in there, go into curiosity and say, what's this about? What does this mean? What can I do differently here? Why am I reacting this way? I don't know if anybody else has this experience. Darn, I thought I healed that 20 years ago. Just popped up again. Bigger, I guess a bigger, what would you call it? Like bigger something. Something is bigger at stake, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. And so daily spiritual practice like yoga or meditation actually train us in curiosity because we are taught to be present in the moment. And while we're in the moment, we're observing our thoughts through breath, through a mantra. So we're paying attention to something and noticing. Curiosity is all about noticing. We cannot be curious if we are in our head thinking about what we're going to say next, thinking about what we're going to do tomorrow. We cannot be fully present with other people when we're in that place. So we miss all kinds of great stuff, don't we? Don kind of, he wonders sometimes because he says, you don't miss anything, and I don't, and it is a bit of a curse sometimes. I was told by a facilitator, I went through a facilitator training class for a year for a seminar company I used to work for, and he told me during a training one time that I had the most incredible field sensitivity he had ever seen. And I said, well, what is that, and is it good? And he said, well, you don't miss anything that's going on in the room. You notice when people cross their legs. You notice when they do this. You notice when they're breathing weird. You notice when they shift. You notice the energy. You notice all that. And he goes, it's an amazing skill to have. However, where it will kick you in your behind is if you start to think you know what that behavior means. And so for someone who is extra curious and observant, I've had to learn over the years to let all that go of what I think you're about, what I think you're thinking about me. Anybody else in the extra observant and extra curious category? Yeah. I mean, it is an amazing skill to have, but man, I don't miss a road sign either on the side of the road. I read everything. And so, what was that? A typo. Yes. And so, let's see. I'm going to go back to the yoga and meditation thing because when you're in that, it trains you to be patient, to stop reacting, to accept yourself without judgment. And this gives curiosity a space to settle in. So in quietness, we can practice being curious. Let's see, in my mid-30s, I was the mom of a 7-year-old son. Isn't that interesting? And yes, I think I did a decent job of encouraging his creativity and curiosity. And when I would hear the words, "because I said so," come out of my mouth, and I would look around to see if my mother was in the room, I would do my best to stop and try to give him a more honest answer. And sometimes the most honest answer is, "I don't know. If it's important to you, I will try to find out. I don't know." I mean, I would have loved knowing that my parents didn't know everything, or because I was disappointed when they didn't. I thought they were supposed to. And so I'm going to wrap up here by reading you a short piece from a book. And the book is actually back there. It's a collaborative book that I have a chapter in, and it came out in January. The book is called Love Warriors, The Conscious Expert's Guide to Healing, Joy, and Manifestation. And I wrote a chapter called Standing in the Spotlight, Release Your Fear, Shine Your Light, Make Your Unique Impact. You can actually purchase it today for $15, get the free Kindle version as well, and save some money. So see me if you're interested in that. The excerpt that I'm reading is 400 words out of a 3,000-word essay. "Thanks for asking," I said, "but I don't do that. It's not my thing." "It's not a request," he replied. "You're doing it." His words startled me, and I felt fear rising from my gut. My typical response had come easily because I'd been practicing it for 30 years. This was the first time it had been met with resistance. Something else was also happening for the first time. I had the thought, how do I know I don't do it and that it's not my thing when I've never done it before? This scene between my employer and my 35-year-old self played out the week before I was to attend a conference in New York City. He'd received a call that one of the speakers had canceled and was asked to recommend a replacement. I was the replacement. The puzzled look on his face told me he couldn't understand why I wasn't excited and jumping up and down at the opportunity. The puzzled look on my face had nothing to do with him and everything to do with what was happening inside of me. My fear was being overridden by curiosity. How do I know I don't do it and that it's not my thing when I've never done it before? I worked in the banking industry and was recently promoted to assistant vice president. The conference was a national gathering of industry professionals, and now I would be speaking to them. While I doubt I would have been fired for refusing, it wouldn't have boded well for my career. And as I mentioned, there was this demanding curiosity bubbling up inside, and I had to respond to it. The fear didn't go away, but I knew my stuff and I was well prepared, and I did okay. But the outcome isn't the story here. The story is what was shifting inside of me. This happened during a time of painful personal changes, disruption, turmoil, significant growth. I was going through a divorce, had a demanding, often stressful job with a killer commute, and was trying to be a perfect mother to my son. I was also in therapy and doing other personal growth work that was just kicking my butt. A lot was opening inside of me, and I think that's why for the first time I was more curious than fearful about speaking in public. The question, how do I know, was front and center. Something had also been jarred loose, a memory from childhood. And I'm going to just stop there and tell you that memory from childhood was also when I was 7. When I brought all this together, I'm thinking, man, the 7s were just pretty big for me, all this insight. And I just want to say that had I not gotten that hit and listened back in my mid-30s, I had so many opportunities after that. I was approached to go through a facilitator training program, ended up working for this company, leaving my corporate job. When they closed, I started my own company. And I'm standing up here now. If I had not listened to that question that said, well, how do I know? I wouldn't be here. So think about your life and what it is. What's that little thing that keeps nudging you that says, how do you know? I always want to do that. Oh, but I'm too scared. I think if we get anything that we get in our mind that we want to do, if it keeps coming back, it's ours to do, or at least it's ours to check out. Don't let your dreams die inside of you or your song not be sung. Thank you.
It's always so inspiring. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
The mic.
My throat is so dry.
Please join us next week as we welcome our new spiritual leader and senior minister, Reverend Rafe Ellis. This will be a virtual-only service, so we hope you will join us on Facebook Live, Twitch TV, or YouTube. You can find the links on our website homepage. And now it's my pleasure to introduce once again Andrea and Zach for more music.
Thank you. Okay. Hit it. There should be a song.
Thank you, thank you. Check out Andrea's website, AndreaBrachfeld.com, AndreaBrachfeld.com for information and to purchase her beautiful music. And feel free to connect with both Andrea and Zach after service. And now it's time for our conscious giving. We have just received, and now we can participate in the law of circulation by giving back. I invite you to invoke feelings of love, gratitude, and abundance, allowing them to fill you and the space around you. And now let's speak our prosperity affirmation together. I know that the infinite abundance of the universe is blessing and expanding my offering for the good of all. And so it is. I now invite Laura, our usher, to come up and pass around the basket for the offerings as we all sing together, Our Thoughts Are Prayers. Thank you, Laura, for your service today. We gratefully receive your gifts and tithes. Your support means that we remain a vital and thriving center, contributing to a world that works for everyone. Please join me as we bless every gift bestowed upon Columbia CSL. Together, we receive these gifts, knowing that they nurture and support our vision of contributing to a world that works for everyone. And so it is. Last but not least, we want to remind you of a couple of events happening this week. Today after service, you're invited to join Judy Templeton and friends for Brunch Bunch, a time of nourishment and fellowship. Today we're going to meet at Mad City, which is right up the street. Anyone who'd like to join us is welcome to do so after service. This is a big week for us here at Columbia CSL. We visioned, we claimed what we wanted, and now we're excited to see the demonstration. Reverend Rafe Ellis officially becomes our senior minister and spiritual leader starting on March 1st. Can't wait to see you, Reverend Rafe and Deborah. We're awaiting you with bated breath. We hope you'll join us every Sunday in March as Reverend Rafe dives in and showers us with his wisdom, wit, and leadership. To keep up with his journey, you can stay on our social page and you'll see more about what Reverend Rafe and Deborah are doing, and we can't wait to have them as part of our community. We're so excited. Remember to check out our website, columbiacsl.com, where you can listen to Reverend Rafe's talk from January 22nd and find out more information about all the things happening in our community. On behalf of our entire community, thank you for being part of our spiritual family today. At the end of service, please remember to check out our announcement slides, and we hope to see you virtually next week. Now I invite you to stand as we sing our closing song, I Release, by Ricky Byers.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart and wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit from my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, I release and I let go. Let the Spirit from my heart. Oh, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. With my faith, I see the light. Where you are, free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, I release and I let go. Let the Spirit from my life. Oh, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Ginny, please close the service. I don't think I was close enough to the microphone. Ginny, I'm inviting Ginny up to close our service with an affirmation to take us with us for the week.
This week, I meet every single person, every event, every feeling with a deep and abiding curiosity. I live in a state of patient and observant noticing rather than habitual reactivity. I sit with any uncomfortable feelings and energy, and I just notice. I notice my thoughts. I notice the desire to run and hide. I witness without judgment and see what I can learn about myself. I'm gently curious and I inquire within. Thank you.
Joy fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow spirit to do what it does. Joy fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow spirit to do what it does. Joy fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow spirit to do what it does. Peace. Peace fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow spirit to do what it does. God fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow spirit to do what it does. Spirit to do what it does. Joy fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do what it does. Joy fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do what it does. Joy fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do what it does. Joy fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do